And thanks so much for staying with us here at WVTM 13. We continue our Commitment 2024 coverage. Joined here now with Dr. Marissa Grayson, our political analyst. So this election is one that is certainly getting a lot of eyes, getting a lot of attention. Here in the state of Alabama, what do you think is top of mind for voters right now?
Well, I think that a lot of people are paying attention to Congressional District 2, the newly formed district, but overall, people are probably paying the most attention to the presidential race. That's where people really feel like it matters.
Absolutely. We're definitely going to touch on Congressional District 2, but let's talk about voter turnout before we get there, because we know that with the general election, more people tend to vote in that versus other elections. Do you think that is the case now?
Yes, I definitely think we're going to see high voter turnout today. I wondered when it was raining this morning how it might affect Alabama, but I think we've seen long lines a lot of places. People feel strongly about the election here and want to have their voice heard.
So Congressional District 2, state of Alabama, that was redrawn by federal courts. Last year it was approved. Caroline Dobson, Shamari Figures. What do you think the turnout is going to be for that?
I think the turnout is going to be pretty high. When people know that they actually could maybe affect the balance of the House, they're going to feel mobilized. There have been so many efforts there outside of Alabama, people coming in, big names like Eric Holder for Shamari Figures. So much money has gone into the race from outside areas that every door has been knocked on and people have been begged to show up, and I think they will.
We know that this is a new map, but do you think that the results of District 2 will be a surprise for the state and the country?
Well, when you look at the makeup of District 2, I think we would expect that Shamari Figures has a lead. So if he were to lose, I think that would be a surprise. We saw Republicans push back and appeal the decision to be able to try to make sure that the district was not the makeup that it currently is. And so the surprise would be, I think, if he does not win.
In the previous election, we saw that Georgia was a surprise state. Do you think that Alabama will ever reach that level?
Well, I think it can, right? So I think, we have some things that hold us back from really ever seeing that. One is that we have straight ticket voting. So we are one of 7 states that makes it so you could show up, circle one of, circle to the top where you pick a party and be done. And that makes it difficult to have a competitive state. But I think if you see efforts from outside groups, there's certainly been lots of talk about the need for the Democratic Party in Alabama to organize better. Outside groups coming in, trying to mobilize Democrats. When you filled out the ballot today, you probably saw that there were a whole lot of races we didn't even have competition in. And so that's the first step, I think, to getting to a point where Alabama could look like Georgia.
Congressional District 2. Will that help mobilize the Democrats in Alabama?
I think it definitely will. We'll see turnout much higher, I think, there than other areas of the state. You may have some people who are turning out for the Alabama State Supreme Court race, but I really think it will be either the presidential race or the congressional race that'll bring a lot of people out.
Dr. Marissa Grayson, thank you so much. She's going to be here with us for the remainder of the day, so make sure you're tuning in to get our political analyst insight. Back to you guys in the studio.